You should grow your beard back out.
Oh, I know, right?
Do the full Arab beard.
Hello, but we'll talk about it later. All right, guys, welcome to Redpillstation. I am your host, Tony
Jamie
Tragas here,
Spears.
and I'm here with Brandon Pearson, co-host, and Sean Alami here. Sean Alami as his roundtable Camelot roundtable. What is it? At the Twitter page.
Twitter page, Camelot's Table.
Got it. Camelot's Table. And pretty much, guys, what we're going to do today is actually talk about geopolitics here on the Red Pill Station. We're going to be talking about Iran. We're going to be talking about, China, the whole, trade deal, things with Trump, and is there a possibility that there would be a civil war? So pretty much, Sean, I kind of want to start with you. What when it comes to you're Iranian, so do you feel some type of way because Trump kind of went at your people? You know what I mean? Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel that right now, much needs to be done to change the regime and the government that's in Iran. I think Iran's government has led people astray. They have been brainwashed over the years since the Shah was in power, and they, the government that was put in place has not been kind to the people, and I think that in this modern age, in this century, and with most other countries separating the church and the state, they have become very successful, and I think that Iran is long overdue for that separation of church and state, and I think the sooner that happens, it will be better for the people.
I saw Secretary Rumsfeld.
What's going on over here?
Oh, sorry about that. So you think there should be a separation of church and state with Iran, right?
The greatest thing that has ever happened to the United States or other countries around the world that have, a government that is for the people, by the people.
Democratic republics, countries that have democratic republics, yes. is that we have a separation of church and state. That's probably one of the greatest things that those countries have. Is what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. Because what happened is religion is religion, and you can basically practice any religion you want. That is your freedom, and the politics are the politics, and that will take care of the government. The government has to be able to function without religious biases trying to run it and force it upon its people.
Exactly, because religious bias and everything like that, it can always be interpreted in a different way. I mean, just like the Bible can be interpreted in a million different ways, like you can start interpreting it your religion in any way you want to push forward a political agenda. That's why you need to have the separation of church and state. I mean, look at early European countries, like it was all like they all followed the Catholic Church, the Pope, whatnot, all those kingdoms and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So there was no separation of church. It was all church. It was barely any state, and so that's why we need to have that very strict separation between the two. Which is like in current day America, where like a lot of states anyway are trying to remove that separation, like Alabama and their whole. Pushing forward that the abortion law is that they have outlawed abortions in Alabama mainly because the majority of the people that voted for that law are fundamentalist Christians, and they're letting their religious bias get in the way of their legal decisions.
Real quick, not to stick on that, but how do you guys feel towards that? I mean, it's weird because I'm not a woman. I don't have really an aspect on that. And I'd like to ask a woman that had a baby or a woman that maybe had an abortion prior. Mm-hmm. It's to me, it's kind of like. I mean, when do we decide to kill this thing? Like, when do we kill this little thing? Like, do we kill it 2 weeks? Do we kill it 6 months?
Do we wait till it's a baby?
When do we choke this little motherfucker? Like, I'm dead serious, bro. Like, when do we decide to kill this thing? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like,
whenever the woman decides. I mean, before it comes out, preferably. But whenever the woman decides,
as long as it's in the womb, right? You can kill it.
I don't know, man. It's ask a woman that.
I believe that yes, there is a choice to be made. I think a woman has a right to choose, but at the same time, we have to be careful because we don't want to take a life away and kill it if it is really alive. So again,
That's
the
a
question.
giant. It's a giant.
It's a
gray
giant
line.
question
A big
that when-
gray line that stems
Yes.
from fucking 2 weeks to fucking 9 months.
Yes.
Like when do we kill this
Exactly.
I know.
And
I don't know,
I mean,
man.
are you really killing something that's alive and has a soul, or are you killing just
thing? So it's about the soul now.
it is a soul because
When
That's
does the
the
soul
whole other
enter,
factor that just
when does
added
the
into
soul
this
enter
equation.
the body now?
They say
When
at
there's brain
concep-
activity.
They say at conception. At
At conception, that
Yeah.
means you can get raped and never abort it.
well, I mean, like right when the sperm hits the egg, boom, you gotta. That's when it happens.
ultimately it is still a woman's right.
Right.
And they have to have that right because
You think it's a woman's right? Okay.
yes, and the reason is because let's say
I'm down for the. Here's what's crazy is I'm actually down for that, even though having a kid and shit. I'm actually down for a woman's right.
Well,
But
Absolutely.
think of
But
it.
my thing is, I just don't like say you're killing the kid. Don't say you're not.
Don't bullshit
like,
us.
Like be real. Just be like, I'm fucking taking care of this month. Like I'm choking. It's like, but you gotta please just say you're killing a kid. This is what you're
We'll
doing.
let you do it, but you gotta be real with what you're doing.
Right,
Can't
because I mean,
pretend.
for those, I mean, my only hiccup about Christians that are hardcore about it, or Republicans, conservative side of it, is this. I mean, you can say all these bad things and say, well, we're killing kids and this and that, but I'm sorry, we're killing kids already in Yemen and Gaza Strip. We're already bombing the fuck out of them. We already have kids riding off on missiles to fucking kids over in Iran. You know what I mean? Like, so if you want to sit here and say, oh my God, think of the children. Yeah, let's think of the fucking children. Like, to me, just say you're killing the kids. I'm cool with killing kids. I am. I fucking personally, if it's not my kids, I'm cool with it. It don't matter. I know my tax dollars are going to kill kids in Yemen and Gaza Strip. But don't sit here and say it's not killing kids when it comes to abortion. It is. You're killing a kid. Period. So
right, but there's also another epidemic that can arise from this, and that is, let's say you make it illegal to have an abortion. Okay, then you're gonna have people out there doing illegal abortions in the back of a yarn, in the back of a car.
It gets dangerous.
Somewhere,
and you
where,
start risking lives that way.
Absolutely.
Okay,
And
that
more,
makes sense.
more
Yeah.
lives will be lost rather than that just that baby.
And I agree with that aspect of it. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So and that's why I say, like, I'm for abortion. You want to kill, like, let them. Like, to me, I'm like, bro. I mean, I'm a heartless motherfucker. I'm like, hey, look, I would rather.
You're like, just burn the babies, fuck them.
I'm on that immortal mindset, meaning I love the part in Immortal where that dude was a traitor and he's like, we will not let your seed spread.
One of the greatest.
And he takes the fucking hammer and fucking
Dude, I need to
splits
see that
dude's
movie
balls.
again. It's been too long.
Bro, but my thing is, like, to me, hey, whatever, bro. Like, I don't want kids with your mindset being in this world anyways. I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. If they're going to have your mindset.
Ultimately, it's going to come down to your free will. God gave us the greatest gift, and that is for us to have
Hello,
free will
Hello.
to do whatever you want to do, and you're going to have to live with the consequences, and you're going to have to pay for it in your way.
I mean, if God's all that badass, just put that soul in another body. Ain't that hard?
So getting back to Iran though, so Iran is not. There's no separation of church and state in Iran. It's like a completely like religiously ran country.
Right. After the fall of Shah, which was trying to bring the Western world to Iran, which he did, after the fall of the Shah, these religious leaders, imams, mullahs, whatever, decided, to take power and to overthrow the government. And now they are, through religion, are suppressing these people. And, inflation is out of control. People don't have enough food to eat. They're dying. Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong.
Is there an underside to that? I mean, the reason why I'm asking, so when it comes to Iran, right, this is a really touchy subject for Iranians, for Palestinians, especially those that are pro-Israel. When it comes to stuff like this in this discussion, we have a well-known terrorist by the name of Hamas that are supposedly bombing and killing Israelis.
Hello, Akbar.
But the problem is, when I've looked at the statistics, when it comes to this man, he is not, or I shouldn't say him, but his organization, in terms of how many people they kill, it seems like Iranians or a so-called Iranian terrorist is killing 2 to 3 Israelites versus the Israelites say, what the fuck, you killed 3 of us? We're about to kill 100 of you and just bomb the whole fucking country. I mean, I need to understand more in terms of what's going on with Israel and Iran.
One of the things, and I can speak for, and I will speak for most Iranians. Iranian people are not evil people, and and of course, we don't go out of our way to hurt people. We are very peaceful
I
people.
mean, in the '90s, you guys look like Miami Beach.
Hey, we want
did,
peace.
actually.
We want it what everybody else wants.
Yeah.
But we also want to study our own religion, and we want to follow our own culture, which shouldn't be a problem because everyone else does it around the world.
Okay.
But because there's such a ruling factor when it comes to these people being governed by a book that was written, centuries ago, and has suppressed the people. So now people
Are you talking about the Quran?
yes,
Okay.
and the Quran is a beautiful, beautiful book, and it was written beautifully. But people keep reading it and misinterpreting its words.
Just like all the books.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's just tearing the country apart. It's tearing the Middle East apart. You have different fractions. You have different beliefs, and all that is now just getting out of hand. Tensions are rising, and then now the West, like Donald Trump, is sending his war machines there. He wants to use war to bring peace.
It doesn't work that way. It's like fucking for virginity. You can't. Trump doesn't want peace in that area. He wants to perpetuate the war. He's taking advantage of this religious dispute, and he's arming both sides so he can make money off of this perpetual religious war. And this perpetual religious war is...
When you say he makes money, how does that work?
Well, he sells armaments to them. He sells tanks, guns, ammo, missiles, sells them everything, and then they use them. They kill each other. And
So maybe not Trump in a sense, but the military industrial
complex does
Okay,
this,
got it.
yeah.
Okay.
And Trump's just a puppet of them, actually. And so we help maintain that perpetual religious war because it's in our best interest, regardless of some people there want peace and want out of it, whatnot. Doesn't matter. These people over here are making money off you. You just happen to be born in the wrong place.
Got it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And so that sheds a little bit more light. And I've always been, I hate saying it like this, but I haven't been, I don't like Israel in the sense that to me, it seems like the USA is their right arm. They are the ones that basically make sure that, whatever they say goes, and the U.S. is going to back them 100% regardless of what happens. And I always just feel like Iran is this little kid that keeps getting picked on constantly and constantly, especially now when you have sanctions. I mean, God forbid, can you imagine another country did sanctions on the U.S.? Like, that would be insane. It's an act of war. It's nuts that Iran hasn't gone and said, you know what, fuck you, we're going to war. I mean, Trump did finally announce that the elite, there's an elite army there that they're now considered terrorists, even though they're an elite army that's very highly decorated, respectable men. They're not even, they have no terrorist values whatsoever, but he's now called them terrorists. I think that's crazy now that we've considered these men terrorists and that we can go to war with them at any time. I'm trying to understand more in the sense of, why Iran? What's the end game with Iran? I have an idea, right? Because if you don't understand what's going on with the Shiite-Sunni war, it's very, very easy to understand when it comes to Shiites and Sunni. So when it comes to Muslim religion, the Sunnis are a tribe, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but the Sunnis are a tribe that believe if Muhammad, right, when he died, was basically supposed to pass on, who the successor would be. He would be the next caliph. The caliph was supposed to be someone in his bloodline. But they said, there were people who were Shiite. The Shiite believe it should be the bloodline. It was the Sunni that ended up saying, no, it should be his best friend. And so from then on, the Muslim religion split into two. And when you look at the entire region, when you look at the countries that are ruled, pipelines that basically allow gas lines to go through those countries, you can see the separation between the Sunnis and the Shiite. You can actually see it completely. It's plain as day.
There are many differences on both sides. I think that when it comes to religion, I believe that God's free will has given us the right to choose what we want to believe in and what religion to follow. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people make decisions by following those beliefs, and becomes their culture, part of their culture. I mean, just like Christianity, how many different ways of Christianity has split? You have the Catholic Church, you have the Orthodox Catholics, and then you also have Christianity now, and with their different, you have your Protestants, you have your Methodists, you have so many different religions here. In the Middle East, I think that America has fed into supporting one side and feeding it through different proxy wars that are going on right now. So, choosing the Sunni side, helping Saudi Arabia with that, where, you have Iran, supporting the Shiites, in Yemen and, in Syria and so many other places. So,
and it's common sense if you understand geopolitics, because we've seen movies where you could see the ships leaving Saudi Arabia and getting raided by pirates. Like, we've seen movies that have this. That's happening because the Sunnis, right, will not allow, or the Sunnis want to build a pipeline from Saudi Arabia up to England, so they don't have to send ships and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on that. But guess what? Right? The Shia control that pipeline. Where does it run through? Syria. Where do we have a war, and who do we call a dictator? Bashar al-Assad. Out of nowhere, as soon as that deal got canceled and he said, nope, you will not, I will not allow a pipeline to be built through my country, we have war. Now he's a dictator. Out of nowhere. As soon as it doesn't align with U.S. interests, they are now a dictator.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Same with Saddam and Gaddafi and all those other people.
Oh, right. Yeah, same exact thing happened. So, and it's just what's interesting, because I think ultimately the end game is this. They want a complete Sunni control. They don't want the Shiites to control anything. They actually want Sunni control in the entire region. Why? Because the Sunnis play ball. The Sunnis will actually align themselves with the U.S. interests. And that's the reason why they want this end game. I want to play this. This is General Wesley Clark. He actually said this. This is actually a year or two after 9/11. Check this out. This is the craziest thing.
And Deputy Secretary Wolfowitz, I went downstairs just to say hello to some of the people on the Joint Staff who used to work for me, and one of the generals called me in. He said, "Sir, you got to come in. You got to come in and talk to me a second." I said, "Well, you're too busy." He said, "No." He says, "We've made the decision. We're going to war with Iraq." This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, "We're going to war with Iraq. Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "I guess they don't know what else to do." So I said, "Well, did they find some information connecting Saddam to Al Qaeda?" He said, No. He says, "There's nothing new that way. They just made the decision to go to war with Iraq." He said, "I guess it's like we don't know what to do about terrorists, but we've got a good military and we can take down governments." And he said, "I guess if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem has to look like a nail." So I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, "Are we still going to war with Iraq?" And he said, "Oh, it's worse than that." He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, "This is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran."
That's crazy. Literally ended with finishing off with Iran, because of the fact that Iran is the biggest power structure out there. I mean, they don't take no shit. The entire country is ran completely by Shiite. It's not, when it comes to the military, they're the biggest presence there. It's crazy, but
I think that through many years of propaganda, other governments were involved in, overthrowing the Shah when he was in power, and the Shah did play ball with America. They were allies, and I think
Saddam Hussein did too. But
yes,
and he was a CIA operative.
Yes, he was. And then on top of that, Iran tried to break free from this brainwashing and propaganda, which eventually led for the government to be overthrown and a coup to be thrown. And then now you have these religious people that are now in power of the government, running the government, and suppressing the people even more.
Right.
So, and I think that that has led the country to be weaker, and it did end up being in a war for many years with Iraq. That Iran-Iraq war that happened was another proxy fight, and it cost Iran million soldiers, millions of people died, millions.
So basically, it was just a catalyst to weaken Iran even more. Or I'm sorry, Iran even more.
And because of that war, Iraq was led to have less ammunition, less soldiers, less tanks, less missiles. So when America did invade, Iraq. They didn't have any weapons of mass destruction. They didn't really have anything. It was
That was all ruse.
Yeah.
Interesting. So my next thing is so that's Iran. That's one area, because it's crazy when you look up geopolitically and everything that's going on. There's so many different things, so many players. It's like fucking a real life Game of Thrones. It's nuts. Did you guys all watch Game of Thrones, by the way? Did you guys...
Yeah, we actually watched it in the span of 3 weeks.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on, you binge watched it?
We binge watched it.
Ooh,
in
this
3
is
weeks,
really
bro.
fucking good. Time out. So this is really fucking. I want to get the perspective of somebody that binge watched it versus somebody who had been waiting, year on year
for
on
like
end
8 years
to fucking see this shit. Because I have a different perspective on it. But how did you feel?
Well, it's interesting about that because I had the same kind of conversation with my other buddy earlier. I like we said earlier, I think it was just I think they took the safe route in the ending as the end at the ending of the series. I think it was the safest route possible. I feel like a lot of things didn't add up in the end, and I feel like the end was kind of rushed a little bit. But overall, I think it was decent. I think it could have been better. I think they could have taken some other directions, but it was okay. But I binged watched it, so it's kind of a simple, straightforward answer. But for someone who had watched it for 8 years and it finally came down to that, I feel like it came down, the ending was kind of rushed. It was kind of messy. It was unorganized. A lot of things were not addressed, like the fact that two big giant things happened towards the end, the last 2 seasons that had no it was huge giant facts that had no reason to be there, like Jon Snow is Aegon Targaryen. That fact went absolutely nowhere. And then Arya getting the ability to face swap, that ability went absolutely nowhere.
It did, in the sense that, I mean, now there's a conflict between him and Daenerys. Like that's why there's a giant conflict. It's like, okay, this whole fucking shit about you need to be queen. Guess what? I'm already the king, bitch. Like that was a real, like, fucking holy shit, like a headbutter there between them two. And you saw it throughout the entire season of season 8.
No, he so very quickly backed down that, though. He's like, I don't want to be king at all.
It doesn't matter what he wanted, though. And then she kept saying that. It doesn't matter what you want. The people are going to want this for you. So, and that's why that was so important. And not to stick to it too much, but like, I mean, me personally, who watched the show for always waiting every season, who was pissed as fuck that it was going to take 2 years to see the fucking, 8th season. I mean, I felt duped. I do. I don't like. And
you watched it for 8 years?
Yeah, okay. Watched the entire years, and it's like, I don't like that they made Daenerys the enemy. They made her, like, to me, I felt like other people that were binge watching it, because I had a friend, Rob, who was watching it later on. I was like, he's gonna feel like she's the enemy the entire time. Like, it was like, and that's what it was. Like, people who were just watching were like, oh, so Daenerys has been the enemy this whole time? Like, no, she wasn't, but the show's making it look like that. The fuck.
Well, that's another fact I want to bring about the show. It looks like they just took like 7 seasons or 8 seasons of character development and just destroyed it in one episode by having her go crazy.
In one season, yes.
Well, in that one episode, she just decided to kill everybody and like.
Right. Spoiler alert.
We saw her slipping in season 8, but that final episode before the last, when she just kills everybody, that's like all that character development of building her up to be the savior of saving all these slaves.
I'm not gonna lie, it turned me on. Did you see her like on top of you? Like, she's like, Dracarys.
Oh my
god! Like, yes. Oh,
well, that's what she was doing to Jon Snow. Dracarys, yes, Dracarys, bitch, whatever. Just Dracarys me. All of a sudden, Drogon comes to the window. What? You call me? What? I see what you're doing in there. I'm not calling you dad. What?
She is the daughter of the Mad King, though.
True. It's genetic.
The Mad Queen.
Very mad queen.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah. So all that character development destroyed in one episode, I feel, and then the Arya thing, like her whole face swapping the ability, like
I don't like, the only thing I don't like when she killed the Ice King. I really do wish that she would have like done it while in the mask of like one of those fucking Ice Walkers.
That'd be kind of cool. That would
have
added
like,
to it
to show like, yeah.
And then right after she stabs him, then her face comes up.
Yeah, many faces. You know what I mean? Like, it should have did something like that. You know what I mean? But it was cool. I mean, it was whatever. I was like, in the end, I was like,
dude. And you know how the Night King doesn't say anything, right? He should have had one line like after he gets stabbed. Who are you? And then she says, a girl has no name, and it goes to her face. That would have been like, yes!
Actually, that would have been sick. Yeah. Oh, my God. I was thinking of her saying, or him saying, Nico. Okay, cool. Well, okay. Shit, damn.
Oh, bitch.
I just want to get step.
You done got me, bitch. You done got me.
Like the entire time the Ice King was black. That would have been awesome. Fuck. But anyways, okay. So
Dude, there was one black guy in that entire series, dude. That was the pirate. The pirate.
So that's what everybody tells me. I never saw him, but that's
Oh, shit, I'll bring him up.
it
was a very white show, man.
Yeah, that's it. Whoever came, yeah. Fuck it.
Why did they end the show?
They don't have us in shit, bro. Japanese anime, they don't have us in shit.
Why did they end the show?
If
it was going so strong, it was making money, it had its followings.
Sean,
Why did they bring it to an end?
No, they were done.
There has to be a reason for it because
they're doing spin-offs.
Sean, they had to end it.
Why?
They
You build the characters.
You
And
build
now
them and
everybody
you-
loves the characters, wants to see more. And
The
then
books
you just
were
end
over.
it.
But it's the end of the story.
Yeah, the
Sean.
books were done. It was the end of the
over.
story.
You can keep going. There's always a way.
Well, they already
Like,
were
when
actually
Sleeping
kind of.
Beauty wakes up, why did she wake up, nigga? I don't know. She gotta wake up.
To bitch got wake up.
Hey, you're doing good. It's a money.
I can
It's a
see
cash
Tony.
cow for
I can see Tony
the
having this.
network. Keep going.
Tony's gonna have this conversation with his daughter one day. Like, why does she gotta wake up yet? Because bitch gotta wake up. I don't know.
Your choice, shit.
Let's do it.
There's a bunch of dwarves around there and shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Hopefully,
Oh,
this,
that's Snow White.
hopefully the spin-offs will make enough money. We'll see.
We hope.
It probably will.
Yeah.
So,
They're gonna let us down, too.
so the next thing, a lot of people, and this was crazy, man, when it comes to people, and in terms of, oh, we have a great democracy. People don't know what the fuck is going on in this country. So let's talk about China trade, right? The trade war going on.
Oh,
right now.
yes. The
So
trade wars.
a lot of people don't know about the trade war, and it's okay if you guys don't know because nobody knows. This shit's crazy. Like I looked this shit up as soon as they talked about it, and I was like, ain't no one gonna know about this shit. It's like people that say they know about the Bible, but they really don't read the Bible.
No.
So when it comes to trade war, I mean, Sean, what do you think about the trade war? Because I say this because, folks, Sean he's invested in stocks. He understands the stock market. He told me today the Dow went down 350 points. It did. So I mean, how do you feel about it?
350 points.
Yes, another bad day in the stock market, and the Dow was down.
Mm-hmm.
People were losing money, and it does hurt, you know. And being a day trader, I have lost money. I've made money. The tariffs now being imposed on China, I think that this is just a very childish tactic to impose your power over another country, to force him into doing what you want him to do and hit him at the pocketbook. And I think that the way they have gone through this is kind of like a childhood rant, you know, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do and you're going to do it. And it should have been done through proper channels. It should have been done over time in a political way where you can save, you know, your government's, you know, face, because right now, you know, we're on the edge of, you know, pushing too hard and finding ourselves maybe on the brink of war, you know, with China, with other countries, and I think that also it's hitting us here at the pocketbook. Well, we're not going to see a lot of this money. If anything, you might see some of it go towards Donald Trump's wall, you know, because, you know, he wants billions to build his wall.
So with President Roosevelt, and when it comes, I'm talking about pre-World War II, something that's been consistent is the fact that in history, whenever we have trade war, after trade war or economic war, we have real war.
That's real.
So, and that's what happened with Japan. That's why Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. We taxed a lot of their exports and imports, and we told Japan things that they were going to do and not do. And guess what? We knew that was going to lead to war, and we had war. That's what happened. So when it comes to everything happened with the China trade agreement, I'm a little bit nervous about it, because the bottom line is this. When it comes to China and the United States, I'm really confused. And you know, let's talk about Trump later. Let's leave Trump to the side. Obviously, he's the president, so we have to talk about him in this conversation. But right now, what I want to say is this. If you don't understand what this China trade deal is, this is what's going on. Trump wants to raise tariffs because he doesn't feel that America has been getting good deals. When it comes to imports and exports, we always lose. When it comes to the percentages that we are charged, and when it comes to the resources that, you know, that we export and import, we are always losing. And he basically wants to charge China the correct amount that they're supposed to be charged. So, what do you want to say?
Yeah, well, that's perfect point right there. You know, why are we all of a sudden mad about this? I mean, to think about it, what is the number one reason we're in China? What is the number one reason that we have our goods manufactured in China?
Well, cheap labor.
Absolutely. Now
That's fucked up. I shouldn't say.
I mean, that is true. It's cheap labor. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a
That's
fact.
the truth.
I mean,
You
that's what happens when you have corporatocracy. I mean,
yeah,
my thing is this though. When it comes to that though, so here's my thing. This is what's really okay. So this trade agreement is weird to me. Why? Because I look at the shit and I'm like, okay, Trump, this is weird. I am not pro-Trump. I'm not anti-Trump. I don't give a fuck. I am just a motherfucker that looks at shit. So when it comes to this whole deal, right, with Trump, I look at this and I go, okay, Trump, you want to do what? You want to raise coal. Why can't I say that word? Coal?
Coal?
Jesus Christ.
COAL?
Okay, sorry. Coal and
Coal.
steel. You want to raise the value of coal and steel, so you bring those workers back and you blow that shit up through the media and say, we're bringing jobs back
With
through
clean coal.
and steel.
Clean coal.
Motherfucker, you know what you should do to bring jobs back? Why don't you bring the elevator man back? Bring that motherfucker back. Bro, we don't need that person no more. Like, that's my point is this. Okay, Trump, I am stupid. I'm an idiot. I run a podcast. I work my job. I don't do shit. I am nobody in life. I have a bachelor's education. That's it. I'm an idiot. I don't even have my master's. I'm a dumbass. How the fuck do I understand this trade deal better than you? That tells me that it's not what the eye means. So when it comes to this trade deal, right? He basically wants to charge taxes on steel and coal. But what's China going to do? They're going to raise what? And this is really important. And I say this, guys, because I don't want to be a channel that just talks about stuff. I actually want you guys to research it. When you look at what the United States exports, our biggest export is actually our agriculture. We export a lot. So our number one export is soybeans. Honestly, 34% of everything that comes out of the U.S. and all our money we make in the U.S. comes from soybeans.
What the fuck?
That's fucking crazy, right?
Why
I didn't fucking know this either.
Soybeans,
I had to look
that's
this shit
right.
up.
Our
Like,
primary export is soybeans?
soybeans. It's fucking
yes.
soybeans,
Who
bro.
the fuck is buying our soybeans?
Fucking China.
Yep, soybeans.
So what does Trump say? He's like, "Oh, you're gonna pay 25% more." Like, why? Why would you do that? Like,
The fuck? They'll make their own. The fuck?
Why would you? Well, I mean, no. I mean, they just can't like us. Like, I guess we're just the soybean fucking gods. But I mean, whatever the fuck makes them not do it, guess what? We can do it, and our exports, we
Yeah.
make a lot of money from that.
Yes.
So what blows my mind is, okay, Trump, you do realize like we make $133 billion a year from soybeans, and you want to charge these motherfuckers and
More?
do tariffs on the shit. On that shit,
You
but
gotta fuck that up. You gotta rock the boat.
we only make $40 billion on steel and coal. Nigga, really? Like, okay, I'm an idiot.
I'm gonna stick with the soybeans.
I'm an idiot, but okay, you're gonna lose. You're gonna win jobs in terms of coal and steel, and that's what happens. A lot of coal. I have a friend who actually got fired from a steel company. He just got rehired this year, and he loves Trump, and he's black. Go figure. A lot of people are like, oh my god, you can't have a black Trump supporter. You can, dumbasses.
It happens.
Anyways, so he loves Trump for it because now he got his job back. But really, what's crazy is that people that export in soybeans, which is a lot more people than the people that export with coal and steel, are having their jobs lost. That's what sucks. And that information isn't going to be put out till when? The 2020 election. And that's why this is so important, why we're talking about it, is because it's crazy how many people are going to actually lose their fucking jobs over this trade deal.
Already, the farmers that are growing the soybean are being hit by this, and they're losing not only they're depressed, they're losing their farms, their crops. I mean, China's not buying. They don't want to be taxed on soybeans. They don't want to be taxed on certain goods, and we're forcing them to accept these tariffs. And I think that would any political person, especially the one that runs our country, Mr. Trump, that has absolutely no political experience whatsoever, okay, could have done this in a political way and said, look, let's agree to some percentages. Let's work every year towards growth of more tariffs and maybe slapped maybe 5%, maybe 10%, and worked its way up instead of saying, oh, it's 25%, live with it.
Got it. So Brandon, so hearing about this now about the trade deal, because I know when we first got here, you said you didn't know about the trade deal. So now this is what's going on with China. China is basically going to raid tariffs. They're going to raid. So when we export our products, now China's going to add an extra 20 to 25% tax on those products, which makes it undesirable for people that purchase soybeans, and they're not going to purchase our soybeans. So now that that's happening, how do you feel about this deal? Think of it logically. How do you feel?
Well, so you're saying China is putting a 25% tax on the export that we're sending out to them?
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. Why would they do that? Why?
Well, because Trump is putting a tax on steel and coal.
Okay, so that's just a trade war going on right now.
Right.
I think Trump needs to stop putting the fucking the tax tariffs on steel. And
now here's my
China
thing.
will back
here's
off.
my thing. I'm playing devil's advocate, but this is
Okay.
true. We as Americans, we do get screwed on a lot of deals. And what's funny, we actually get screwed more with the United Union in terms of the European Union. We get screwed with trade deals with them and Canada.
Okay.
We get screwed a lot. The United States, we don't get half the taxes and profit and revenues that we should get. We don't. And I like that Trump is fighting for us on that. He is. But when it comes to China, nigga, I'm sorry, bro. Go through my house. Everything's going to say made in China. Like, how are you doing this fight? Like, I'm just thinking, I'm nervous is what it is. When it comes to Trump, like,
What's he trying to get out of it? What you trying to get out of this?
Here's the thing. And I know you're going to think I sound crazy. I actually trust Trump because I'm stupid, remember. Trump has rubbed shoulders with rich fucking investors. He has done business deals. He's done way more business deals with executives and CEOs more than what I've done. So to me, in a logical sense, I say to myself, look, you must know something I don't know because my small little mind tells me this isn't a good idea, but maybe you know something I don't know.
Yeah.
No.
Yes. Tell him, Sean.
No.
Tell him.
No.
Tell him.
Okay. First of all, Trump has already proven that he's a narcissist. So no matter what you tell him, no matter how bad he does, he's going to come back and say, I'm right. Just because you're a good businessman, just because you know how to sell and buy real estate and make your fortune and make your money, and even though you can show that you have $1 billion loss over 10 years on your taxes, and you're still living the lavish lifestyle, and you're still part of the rich and shameless, hey, good, more power to you. You know what? There's no jealousy. You did great. We'll give you kudos. But
Well, I don't think. Oh, go ahead.
But what I'm saying here is for you to come in and try to pretend to be a president, because that's what you're doing, because you have no experience in politics, and going to these other countries and trying to force them to do something that we haven't forced them to do in decades. Mm-hmm. So we've just let it go by the wayside, and then now we're like, oh, well, no, now we're mad about it. No, we have to find a political way to make these deals so it doesn't hurt our economy. Because look, I mean, the Dow's falling apart. We're going to be finding ourselves in a recession. Trillions of dollars have been lost. What's next? War?
Yeah.
It's true, right? And honestly, that's the thing I was trying to get to is the fact that where does it go from there? Where's the end game? Like, I'm kind of nervous about this because what happens in that? Because we have all these things happening, right? We have a trade war going on, things like that. The next thing is obviously war. But I don't believe. I know this. You're gonna think I'm crazy for this one. I actually don't believe in an event. Any other conspiracy theorist that's out there, I'm obviously a conspiracy theorist, but like supposedly every conspiracy theorist believes that there's an event that's about to happen. I don't believe there's no event that's ever going to happen. At all.
Probably not.
You know why? The system is completely perfect. The Matrix is working the exact way they want it to work.
Yeah, they have no reason. I mean, everything's working so great right now. Like for the most part. Why would they want to fuck this whole thing up?
Right. Why?
They could if they wanted to, but I don't think they want to.
No, not at all. I mean, why would they want to ruin everything that's going on, right?
Unless they like just the only way a massive event is going to happen is if we mine the planet of everything, and now there's too many people. Now we need to create some kind of event to where we're going to dramatically decrease the population of humanity on the world, so the rich and powerful who remain can live off of what is left. That's the only reason why we'd have a massive event. But I don't think we're at that point yet. I don't think we're going to see that point in this lifetime, but I think it might eventually happen.
True. Very true. I mean, so when we talk about event, I mean, I know Sean loves it. So I can't go to work without this dude telling me this. He says for sure there will be a civil war in the United States.
Civil War.
I'll be honest with you. I think civil war can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
And why I say that it can happen
The U.S. though.
in the U.S. Yes,
We've
I
had one
think
before.
that there might be, and many people out there understand this, that there can't be another civil war in America because since the last civil war, we have lost a lot of our freedom. We have been pushed to the edge. There is a lot of suppression by the government. Think of it this way. A lot of us are working every day with slaving, and we're not gaining anything. We're not, moving up. We feel like we're suppressed, by the 1% that's up there, and then, like puppets telling us what to do. And I think that we have, over these years, we have lost a lot of our freedom. You can't walk outside and say, I want to talk and say whatever I want. You have the authorities always, coming down on you hard, without any consequences. You have, just society in itself is closed-minded to the point where they can't see, too far off into the future, without it being, not to their advantage.
Hmm.
What do you think, Brad?
Well, I think if there's going to be a civil war, it would be to distract us, just like they did last time at the last Civil War. I think so. We had in our last Civil War, like we abolished slavery and all whatnot. But right after that, like the day after the Civil War, we created the IRS. IRS was created the day after the Civil War ended. And so we got rid of black slaves and just made everybody a slave, financial slave. Everybody, and after that, so they distracted everybody with the war, so we could push that through Congress to institute this. And they said initially it was to help with the debt from the war that it costed us so much money, but they never got rid of it. It was always supposed to be there to help pay for all the money we spent during the war, when in fact we actually made a lot of money off the war. And we never got rid of it. It always stayed in place. And now if we have another civil war, it's going to be distract us again, so Congress could push something to enslave us even more. Just like how they instituted the Patriot Act. That wasn't a Civil War based problem, but that was a distraction to push forward the Patriot Act.
Something they created. True.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so interesting. It's
Bush
so crazy
took away
because a
our
lot of people talk about a civil war happening. There's so many. When we talk about the everything in terms of a conspiratorial sense, there's a lot of things that we talk about. None of it's proven, man. There's so much shit on the internet. A lot of people say, well, there's sleeper cells. There's Russian sleeper cells. If this were to happen, guess what? There's Russian collusion already. There's Russians that are ready to just be turned on. They're sleeper cells. They're going to be turned on and they're going to attack us. And there's so much crazy shit out there that I'm like, I just don't believe it. Again, I'm someone that's anti there's going to be an event. I just don't believe it. I think the system is so perfect. And I think there's a way to end this system. I really do. In terms of all the problems that we have, there's so many ways to end it.
Think about it right now. We just talked about this subject. They're telling a woman who has free will and it's her body that she can't have an abortion. Okay. Isn't that free will a freedom?
But
it is. So you're taking that away from a woman. What's going to be next?
Well, in some countries, the woman belongs to the man, so the woman's not allowed to have an abortion because that your body's not yours, your body's mine.
Come here, woman.
And so a lot of those countries, like in some African countries and what's it called? East Indian companies.
Yeah. Or even the Middle East.
That's what I meant to say. Middle East countries. What are they? What are those ones? What are the countries? What is the country where the women has to wear the full hijab? What country is that?
It's not a country. So what it is that it's a type of law that's there. So there could be
Sharia
like
law?
a Sharia law.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, that kind of place. So I feel bad for those girls that like get raped and they want to have an abortion and they can't because they're the property of their husband or their father. It sucks.
Yeah. But I think that civil war, if anything, it's going to be to what extent the government is going to suppress, us, the people. Because, America was based on saying, hey, you have freedom of speech, you have freedom of this and that and the other. You want to be able to come here and live comfortably. You want to be able to live and not have to look over your shoulder and go, what's next?
Yeah, definitely. America.
Goddamn America.
That's America for you. I mean, talk all the shit you want. You can never be more free than where you are here, man.
Well, I mean, also you got this whole thing now. It's going to be another attack on the NRA. And the NRA people don't want guns. What is one of the freedom to have a gun to protect yourself?
No, I'm gonna be real about those motherfuckers. There's nobody that can win a debate on me when it comes to fucking gun ownership. That's the dumbest fucking argument I've ever heard ever.
Isn't that Second Amendment?
I don't even want to hear that from some liberal fucking libtard bullshit fucking socialist piece of shit. Fuck that. That is complete bullshit.
How many people own guns in America? Something like 20%?
300 million.
No, how many? No, I think it's like 25% or 20% of all Americans have
No,
have a
gotta
gun.
be a lot higher than that.
Really?
No, there's got to be a lot higher. I don't think it's 300 million, but I think it's
300 million is how many people are in America.
it's like 340 million.
You don't need a gun to be violent. I mean, you could pick up a machete,
Pick up a rock.
crossbow, a rock, a car. People running each other down now these days.
I mean, here's my debate when it comes to that. That's why I could put anybody in the goddamn fetal position when it comes to the argument. No, bullshit. You could fuck off completely. It has nothing to do with that at all. Oh my god, out of my ass. Yes, in your ass. This is why. Fuck you. Okay, completely fuck you. When it comes to it, it's one thing and one thing only. It's a law. Okay, when we're creating a law, it divides two pieces. One, somebody who abides by the law and somebody who breaks the law. Somebody who breaks the law is a criminal.
Yes.
And somebody who abides by the law is a law-abiding citizen. I am sorry, but that is completely fucking flawed. If you're a law-abiding citizen, you should be able to get whatever the fuck you want. And if you break the law and you're a criminal and you have a felony on your record, sorry, you don't own a fucking gun, motherfucker.
No,
you
ever.
lost that fucking right here in the United States. That's our fucking law.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to us as a United States of America, we are allowed a militia for a lot of reasons. And if we want to sit here and say that we will never, ever, ever, ever be attacked by a tyrannical government, I am so fucking sorry. But look up the National Defense Authorization Act that was signed by yours truly, Barack Obama, that said that they could basically put you at Guantanamo Bay for any fucking reason possible. That is complete bullshit for you to tell me.
I think they can hold you for 15 days without cause.
Any reason possible. Guess what? It doesn't hit home.
What's
it
her
doesn't
face?
happen to you, so you say that it will never happen to me. Motherfucker, the law's there. That's what's scary. The law is there. They can put you in jail and have no reason at all. That's terrifying.
If they really want you, they'll just come up with a law to come get you, or they'll find some kind of loophole to come get you, like what just happened with Julian Assange in the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah.
He was fine, he was safe, and they
But-
fucking loopholed their way in to get him.
It took time, but they finally got him.
Yeah,
That's
they-
crazy.
There's a
They
lot of
changed
things that
some
happen
kind of
the
policy
day
law,
before.
and
There's a
they're
lot
like-
of things that happen the day before.
But
and the day
I
of,
think
but
what's
yes,
what it is to understand, hey, have your gun. You want guns? You want to go gun shooting? You want to go hunting? Whatever. But here's the point. If you have any type of mental disorder or mental issue, and I'm not going to say this word, but I'm going to say it. If you're crazy, you don't need to be owning a gun.
There's no
Okay?
there's no
You're not
liberals
allowed
watching.
to own a
There's no
gun.
liberals.
There's no liberals watching right now. No. Honestly, no. That's a good point to make, because a lot of people say, "Well, you know what? Your
buzzword.
country's so fucking violent. This and that." It's like, no. That's not what kills people. You have to understand that the United States, 60% of our population is on some type of psychotropic drug, to where we have to stay on that shit. Because if not, we're in a different state of mind that makes us want to kill somebody.
So
60% of
so
niggas
you're
want to
saying-
kill somebody?
So you're saying that more of the population in the United States needs Prozac?
Yes.
More of us are on psych meds than not.
You're telling me, right? You're telling me that 60% of this
Here's your
nation, if
Prozac,
they
sir.
don't get
Thank
their
you.
meds, if they don't get their
Please
fucking
don't
meds,
shoot up the post office.
Bro, that's what blows my mind. They will kill people. We don't have a fucking. Oh, you have a violent society. No, we have a psychotic society. Fucking idiot. No,
I think that these drugs that help people maintain a normal level of understanding and balance them out, like Prozac, I'm just using it as an example, should be available over the counter. You don't need a prescription. You think you're crazy, you got issues, go take your Prozac. Mm-hmm. There you go. I mean, whatever's going to help you, get the help you need.
At all, because when it comes to the cure for everything, that's one of the things that I have a cure for. And I know it sounds crazy. It's a utopia, but honestly, man.
So what are you suggesting? Are you suggesting we should just take the state of Hawaii and turn it into a jail?
No, it's not about that. No,
well, you were just
talking about with that. No. So
hey, it's an island. It's in all the bad people there.
I mean, really, there is a way to fix all the problems that we have in this world.
Marijuana.
It's three things. It honestly is three things. And if we just abide by these three things, we could fix every fucking problem that we have right now. And you honestly need to just sit and think of yourself. What affects me? Let me critically think about the things that actually affect me.
Dude,
you'll figure it out.
Dude, we need to do a podcast and smoke some bud. We need to. I'll bring a joint, man. We need to get high and just talk about life, bro. Like
that'd be awesome.
I'm
down for that.
And I think everybody who watching, or we should get people out there to watch it with us and smoke weed while we're smoking weed. Smoke weed and watch the podcast with us.
At the same
Let's
time.
watch our own podcast.
At the same time.
We'll kick it. Watch our own podcast.
Smoke
while we're smoking weed.
Enjoy life.
Wait, what was it? Sean said this shit at 50 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay.
Well, we're not gonna do like a fight companion. Let's put on some like classic stand up like Lenny Bruce or fucking George Carlin.
I can't with you guys right now.
Or like some fucking awesome ass like Bruce Lee movie or some shit, and just like smoke some bud.
Well, let's get real on this though.
I'm down as fuck.
Okay, real quick. Check this out, guys.
Now that weed's legal, can't we, harvest the crops and maybe sell it to other countries too?
Guys, check that out. That's called the USDebtClock.org.
You
go to USDebtClock.org. You will see that on your website right now, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. I literally can't show you the left of that. Hold on, let me see if I can turn this camera.
That debt clock is just like running out of control.
$22 trillion, ladies and gentlemen, that we got right there.
See how that number is flying right there on the U.S. national debt? That is the number of dick pics Kim Kardashian is getting right now.
Oh my fucking God. But honestly, guys, like when we look at stuff like this, like you have to realize, how do you fix that?
You can't.
What do you mean you can't?
You can't fix that. Well, you can try, but they'll shoot you in the face.
Donald Trump's going to make it great again, right?
You can try, but they're going to shoot you in the face.
No?
No.
Why not?
Donald Trump is a good businessman. Maybe he can help a little bit with the infrastructure, but as far as trade and everything else, he doesn't know. He doesn't have the experience.
You know what? And honestly, this is where I want to get
to the root of it.
It's. I really don't like. My biggest thing is this: I really don't like how the right doesn't attack Trump the way they attacked Obama. I didn't even attack Obama when they were talking about, well, you need to show me a birth certificate. You know how everybody's like, Trump needs to show his taxes. I look at those people the same way I look at the people that were like, Obama needs to show his birth certificate. Who gives a fuck? What's it going to change? What do you mean show his birth certificate? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you saying he needs to show that? Who gives a fuck? But nobody on the right will attack Donald Trump. Donald Trump promised us he was going to audit the Fed. I am so sorry, but this is what I see. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I am a so-called conservative by some of my friends, but honestly, I'm just a motherfucker that looks at shit and says, this is what I think. I'm a logical motherfucker, and I guess that makes me conservative. But bottom line, when it comes to all the bullshit that we have in this world today, you just have to look at it and think for fucking 5 seconds, guys. It's not hard. Donald Trump said he was going to audit the Fed. He said all these beautiful things. And then when Cambridge Analytica came out and said that him and Hillary Clinton both bought their services, that basically showed 200 million Americans information and what they thought, bro, they are, to me, I am sorry, but Donald Trump is just a con artist who conned everybody into believing, and I'm even talking about the Republican ticket. He conned those people. I don't believe that Donald Trump supporters are racist. That's the dumbest shit. If you wear a Make America Great hat, whatever the fucking that hat is, a MAGA hat, you're a racist. Fuck no. No, it has nothing to do with that. Donald Trump supporters are typically people that want to see a change. They're typically people that are sick of the system that is in place right now and they want to see a complete change. There are people that accept the fact that Ron Paul wasn't going to be president and our next best bet was Donald Trump. That is what the supporters have in Donald Trump, and that's why he might have a better chance in 2020. And that's why I think there is steps. There are things in terms, and I'm going to pull this video up a little bit later, guys. Paul Mueller came out, right? He's head of the FBI.
Mueller.
And came out with this guy. There's no Russia collusion at all. That is the stupidest thing. If you look into
Collusion.
it's the dumbest shit ever. At all.
No.
It's basically saying that Donald Trump learned information about the Clintons, right? Okay, let me give you a setup.
They've been homies for like 25 years.
Right? Okay, Brandon, this is what it is. It's like me saying you went out, right? You cheated on your girl, whatever. You cheated on her, and I went and put out information for your girl and everybody to see. I'm the bad guy now. But
Yeah.
I put out that information.
They have to put you in jail.
But you got to put me in jail.
Yeah.
That's what Donald Trump is. Is he learned that information through supposed Russian hackers through the DNC files, and basically now we have to put Donald Trump in jail because he learned information about the Clintons that made him lose the election. No, that's the dumbest shit ever. It's a fucking witch hunt. You guys are fucking stupid. There's no Russia collusion. All of it is bullshit. You're just putting that shit out there because you want to separate us. You want to separate black from white. You want to separate Mexican from fucking anybody else. You want to separate us because you might, and this is where I think you're on the ball when you talk about civil war. You want us to be separated so when the time comes for 2020 for the new fucking election to come and Donald Trump wins or he loses and now shit goes down, now we'll be okay with it.
So Donald Trump, what he has done is he has found a way to separate and divide this country. The division is already there.
But do you think it's just Donald?
No. The promises he made, the brainwashing he did, has divided this country. So now, where do you go with a divided country? A divided country is a weaker country. True?
Right.
I gotta get going soon. About to take a sip though.
But it's kind of like looking at it going, wait a minute. We're divided where we're supposed to be as one. We have to come together as one to make America to be a better place for not just the 1%, but for everyone who lives here.
Right.
Whether you're poor or rich,
Good
or whether you're, a woman or a man or whatever, you want to have the opportunity that everyone has. You want to have at least a chance.
Right.
And then do what you can with it. But, being divided, it's kind of saying, hey, you know what? Here's white, here's black. There's the whites against the blacks against the whites. No, it should be the whites and the blacks together. Hey, what is the government going to do for us, and what are we going to do for the government, and work together?
Well, what's crazy is that's what the elite want, right? The elite want a socialist type program. They want us to be dependent on them. They want to bring in people from other countries so that way we're dependent on them. Now, stop. I want your mind to stop now. Don't get it twisted. Be very, very careful.
Trying to stop my mind.
You have to. Because honestly, a lot of people will see that and be like, no, immigrants are bad. No.
Them damn immigrants.
If you're gonna solve immigration, this is how you solve it. You make them citizens immediately.
Mm-hmm. Pay taxes.
Exactly. We're in a shithole. You gotta help us too. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be taxed just like we are.
You are immediately a citizen now.
Right? You're gonna be taxed the same way you are. And
give me your finger.
And this is coming from
your handprints.
Right.
Give me your signature. Get to work.
And in my family, estamos aquí. We say that we're here already, right? And like we say that in my family, bro. A lot of my family came from Mexico, bro. Honestly, man, when it comes to this wall, all this shit, even the conversation on the wall is just a conversation to separate people entirely. When it comes to immigration, make everybody a citizen, so they share taxes. And that's it. Should we protect our borders? Absolutely. Yes, build a wall. We need to protect our borders. If you don't believe in borders, then, motherfucker, kick your fence down at your house. By all means, motherfucker, I want you to kick your fence down. I don't need anybody can walk in my yard, motherfucker.
Oh, you don't believe in borders?
So-
why don't you just let people in?
Right.
So
let them all in.
So here's the situation, and I totally agree with you. Make them citizens, right? But I wouldn't just give up the citizenship real quickly right away. So let me tell you why.
Oh, yes. There's going to be yes.
The
I
first
know where
thing
you're
is
going.
people want to come to this country. Look, the easiest way to fix this is this. Bring them in. Give them a 5-year work visa. You come here, you have to work. Now, if you don't want to work, you got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Leave. Bye. Goodbye. See you. You're going to stay here. You got to work, pay your taxes,
That's
be
fair.
a citizen. Right? After 5 years, get your citizenship automatically. You're this.
They'll mail it to you.
Right. Because you don't
I
want...
think it should be shorter than 5 years, though.
Well, you don't want the freeloaders to come here and then get on the
you want
social
to be freeloaders,
system.
but I mean, honestly,
years.
I'm sorry, but I say day fucking one.
Hey,
Get them
I've been
on the fucking
in
note,
the-
the
I've
same
been in
tax
this
bracket that
country-
we're on, and have the federal reserve tax they ask the way they're taxing
I've
us.
been in this
period.
country, and since I was 16 years old, I've been working. So, hey, I've been paying my taxes. I've been working. Hey, I'm part of society. I'm, and doing everything that everyone else is doing. So, if those people want to come here, let them come. Give them a work visa. You work. As soon as you lose your job, you can't find another one. You got to go. It don't matter you establish family. It doesn't matter whatever you establish. If you can't work in this country and pay your taxes, then you got to go. Go back to where you came from until you can come back again.
Back where you came from,
this
boy.
is just
Get
part
your
of the
ass back where you
solution.
came from, boy.
You can't come here freeload. We can't do that. If that's the case, then everybody will want to come here and
You sound
freeload.
like a conservative now.
Can I go to Mexico and freeload? Can I go to Honduras and freeload? I mean, they're protesting in Honduras.
So they
just burned
came
the
out with the
embassy.
numbers in 2019
I mean,
and
can I-
2018. The highest number of deportations was done by Mexico.
Boom. What are they? Who is Mexico kicking out?
Yeah, who is he kicking out?
Niggas that didn't want to pay the IRS. What?
Nope.
That shit's
Mexico has their
crazy.
own IRS.
Yeah. Oh no. They just said nigga get out.
Hey, come to this country, work, pay your taxes, be
How
a
about-
part of society. Oh, and by the way,
Bye, Dad.
wait,
How
wait,
bad
wait.
you gotta be to have Mexico
Here's
kick you
part
out? I'm
two.
sorry.
Here's part 2 of immigration. Not only if you lose your job, you could be deported, but if you commit a crime, you automatically gone.
Oh,
See ya.
automatically.
Now
get
you
the
sound
fuck
like
out.
Donald Trump.
I believe that though. If you come
Pay
over
your
here,
taxes, be a good person. What's wrong with
now
that?
you sound like Donald Trump.
Well, okay, don't be a
Donald
good
Trump's
person.
America,
Then
boy.
stay where you are.
Donald Trump's America.
boy.
Boy.
No, I agree though. Like if you come over here to America, and no matter what country you're from, if you're on a visa, you should be on a work visa. If you fucking break the law at all, we'll do you a favor. We won't put you in our jail. We'll just send you back to your fucking country.
There you go.
And you can't come back.
Jail's overcrowded.
Say that
anyway.
again.
And you can't come back.
Oh, damn boy.
Goddamn Donald Trump, boy.
How much does it cost for someone to be in jail per year?
It's like $30,000 or it's like $35,000 per criminal in
That's
jail.
crazy.
And that's like depending on the jail. That's depending on the prison. Some are more.
Yeah.
There's
Real
other
nigga shit.
states are different.
They get 3 meals. They get a place to sleep, live, watch a little TV, and
That's like
and
as
have
That's fucking as much as I make a year working my ass off.
unsafe sex practices. Of course, that's what happens in jail.
Man.
And then there goes your disease again.
1 hour and 2 minutes he said that.
Unsafe sex practices. I'm sorry, but that's what happens in jail.
No, that's what happens in Donald Trump's America.
There you got.
Damn.
in Donald Trump's America, you got
Look,
unsafe sex practices.
We all love America. America sounds great. You want to come here, you got to work hard. You got to, educate yourself. You got to stay out of trouble and do your thing. Get that one chance you want, and let's do that. Let's not, put people, in these, what are those things called? The fenced jails they have right there at the border?
It's 10 cities
Yeah, or whatever they put them in. And
Hey, real quick.
in Arizona.
Right,
So-
and yeah, they started in 2012, 2013.
Joe Aparo.
Just to
whatever.
put some light on those.
What is that?
Jeffrey Pyle. It was all started under Obama's administration.
I can't believe he got pardoned by Trump himself when he was getting in trouble for some shit, like some racist shit, and he was about to go to jail. Like fucking Trump pardoned his ass.
Here's my thing. Me as a black male, I know when someone's racist, and yes, he is a racist, but that is unfair because I know that. You don't know that. Yes, he's a racist, but there's nothing that proves he's a racist. So it's fucked up.
no,
But yes,
well,
he's
wait
a
a minute, wait a minute,
I
wait a
can
minute.
see it. I can
The
see
first
it, but I
thing he
can't
did-
prove it.
The first thing he did when he got into the White House,
Say,
he fired the black chef that was in the kitchen.
and then he called,
Why did he do that?
But then he called Kanye.
Maybe that nigga was pissing in some shit.
And then he called Kanye boy too. So that was the first day.
Wait, he called Kanye? No, he did not.
I'm just kidding.
I think he
Come
was.
over here, boy.
I mean, he wanted McDonald's.
If you
I
say
mean,
come over here, boy, that's okay. But if you say come over here, boy, that's bad. You can't elongate the boy. You can't just know.
Kanye comes walking in all pissed off. Like,
When you
what
say
did you
boy,
say?
you gotta say come over here, boy. That's okay. But if you say come over here, Boy, that's bad, bro. You can't
That's
wait
wrong.
to say boy. That's so bad.
Hey, what was the other thing he said about? You remember there was a clip that was he was on a bus. There was an audio. He was talking to he was talking bad about women.
Where they grabs women by pussy.
Yeah. Grab a woman by.
Oh,
by
that's
her.
not bad. We all
Wait,
grab women
hold
by the
on, hold
pussies.
on.
Everyone
as
does that.
As somebody who's running for president and somebody who paid over $100,000 to sleep with some woman that was.
$100,000 for some ass?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a lot of
you're
money,
saying
buddy.
that your wife knew about it and she's okay.
You're
with
saying it's unpresidential?
I'm saying.
Because I'll tell you right now, Bill Clinton getting head in the fucking White House.
But he
Yeah, but that was for
And
free.
he didn't
goddamn
pay-
it.
But that's okay.
That was free.
He didn't pay.
have to pay.
Yeah,
over
he didn't pay no
$100,000
$100,000. He grabbed some government clerk to blow him in the office. He's like, "Get over here."
for free.
Wouldn't
She
that
was
be
free.
worse because of the
Hey,
fact
my
that
dick
he
sucked
didn't
for
practice
3:30.
capitalism?
Come on.
Lewinsky was free. Monica Lewinsky was free. Okay, he didn't pay for her. Donald Trump paid
That
for
we
this
know of.
woman. That was
Well, he kind of did pay for her and losing his job
Oh my God.
and a lot of other things.
Wait, was she a?
She was a
stripper?
government clerk. No,
No, I'm talking about the one that.
Oh, Stormy
Trump-
Daniels?
Yeah, was she?
Oh, she was a stripper. Yeah,
Oh, okay, so she was a stripper. There
She
you go.
was just in
Very
Sacramento
expensive
last
stripper.
year
she was just in Sacramento last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at Centerfold.
at Deja Vu.
Deja Vu. Yeah,
Damn, I want her autograph.
she's a big bitch. She's got huge titties. They're like down to here, dude.
But he's married to a very beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Why would you disrespect
That's
that
debatable.
woman?
Because he's used to that shit.
He's used to just banging whoever and whatever
It
he
don't
wants.
matter- it don't matter
Don't
how
try.
beautiful
He's
they are. It's like-
71 years old and
You get used to that
he
shit.
just does whatever he wants.
Well, his woman is still looking good. I mean,
Do you
she's-
want his woman? It sounds like you
That's
want her.
debatable.
No, I'm just saying she's a very nice lady. Why would you just dump on your lady? That's dirty. That's disrespectful.
I think his daughter's hotter, but I also think he's banging his daughter. Have you-
God damn, some incest in America.
It is. It is like, well, Donald Trump's America's incest. Look at the type of fucking connection they have and the shit they talk about and what he says about her, dude. I think he's banging his own daughter.
Nah, that's, yeah, well, that
I
ain't
want to
good.
talk about making America great again.
Not about banging daughters.
And honestly, let's be real, man. Like making America great again. There's that argument of, oh, you ain't making America great again.
Excuse me.
Listen.
America has always been great.
Yeah.
Okay, there's nothing else you can do to America to make it greater than what it already is.
We're not doing
so
anything
that's just
again.
a big lie
Here's the
he
thing.
sold people. Making America
Hold
great
on.
again is just a big lie that he sold people and to brainwash them. Because America was already great.
Okay.
There's nothing to do again. It's already great.
Yeah.
It's already great, son.
Here's my thing about it. You can disagree. It's okay. So my
I
thing about
disagree.
it is this. Is this.
I already disagree.
So making America great again is this. So I have a lot of friends. They cater to the Republican ticket when it comes to Donald Trump. And when you say the words "Make America Great Again," to me, right? Obviously, we had a black president. Make America great again. It's almost like saying it's synonymous with saying "Make America white again." It really is. And it's scary. You guys wouldn't understand it. It's like a black thing. It's okay.
Make white.
What?
So I have a question for
black
you
man.
then. So me as a white guy, if I were to walk into your house with all of your friends, and me being a white gentleman, am wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, is who amongst you and your friends are going to be offended at me?
I will say this, only one. And I'm not
list.
going to say who, but
Oh, we know.
bottom line, yes, we do. But here's the thing. When it comes to making great,
Hey man, don't
America
talk
great-
about me like that, man.
So here's the thing. I am smart enough to know what that means. It means the industrial age of America.
Yeah.
Because America, to me, has never been great other than two things. The industrial age, if that was real, and its people itself. Our nation is badass. We have so many races. We have so many cultures. Bro.
So much opportunity.
So much
fucking opportunity.
It's not even an opportunity, but us as a people, like, honestly, like, lights out to the entire world. Who would get along the best? Everybody in America. We
Yeah.
would. We really would, because there's so many different cultures. There's so many different types of people. And guess what? They're all cool. Like, I don't beef with nobody but Russians. Like, I love all races but
Fucking
Russians.
Russians, man.
But, like, I love
They're different kind of
especially
people.
Punjabi people. Bro, dude, I
Swahili,
don't never beef with
they're
Punjabi.
all so nice.
They're always calling me buddy. Like, I love you, buddy.
Buddy.
I love fucking.
I heard
buddy.
I heard they don't like being called Punjabi. I heard it's really offensive. It's like
Don't call me Punjabi.
it's
I don't call you nigger. Don't call me Punjabi.
because I think it's like Punjabi or some shit like that.
GB.
Like
Don't call me Punjabi. Don't
Yeah, yeah,
buddy.
it's
I kill
Pun-
myself.
It's
GB.
I get
Punjabi.
it. Yeah, no.
GB.
I've never heard that, but I mean,
I was-
GB.
Sorry.
GB.
GB?
GB.
What's that?
A lot of people call him GB. GB.
What, Sean? What did you say?
They call him GB. I mean, that's a lot of people call him GB. I don't know why, but they call him GB.
As GBs.
What does GB stand for, Tony?
Gigabytes.
My bad.
Oh my
Gingerbread.
god.
Gingerbread.
No, but like honestly, when it comes to America, like, bro, like, we're the best nation when it comes to its people, because honestly, in the movie Marvel, right? I'm sorry, I think it's Thor Ragnarok. They talked about that. It's like, Asgard is not it is not the nation, it's its people. And that's what America is. It's not its nation, it's its people. Like, America's our people. We're fucking the most funniest fucking amazing nation ever, bro.
Yes.
Like, we really are. Now, in terms of, academics and education, stuff like that, obviously we're not, because of the fact that our education system is manipulated for us to basically work as employees for the corporatocracy. But if it wasn't for that, yes, we are the greatest nation outside of that.
Dude,
we really are.
I think
It's so much the great nation, dude. You get people walking here from Guatemala, from Venezuela. They're walking from South America through Brazil, through Mexico to get here, man. I was working with one of them, dude, at Sonoran Roofing Company.
Have you looked at the pamphlets that they got from George Soros?
They fucking walked here, dude, and they were working at roofing company.
Hold on, bro. Honestly.
Yep. Yeah, they had fucking...
Bro, I'm going to say this.
I believe
it
it.
one time. You can believe it if you want to, but I'm going to say this. I want you to critically think. Why weren't they doing this last year? Why didn't they do it the year before that?
Well,
I don't know. They couldn't.
What do you mean they couldn't?
I don't know.
Niggas was walking.
They didn't think about
They
it.
couldn't walk last year?
Well, this is in 2016, and...
But why couldn't they all walk at the same time?
I don't know.
It
He
wasn't-
had his son.
Yeah,
His
wasn't
son
until
couldn't
half
walk.
them niggas had pamphlets from fucking George Soros, who paid them money and told them that they could have a better opportunity if they went up north. Hella people
I
went
couldn't
up.
tell you why they didn't do it sooner, but they did. They did it when they did it.
Right. I'm just saying that honestly, when it comes to George Soros, all these political powers that are out there, people that want fucking depopulation, this is the shit they fucking put out.
There is also another thing you just mentioned. You said that Make America Great Again, it's about the industrial age. Part of it, yes, I agree with that partially, because there's another side of this that a lot of people don't see.
Mm-hmm.
Make America Great Again also has to do a little bit with, we had this thing called affirmative action a while back that was giving people of color, a different creed,
People of color.
opportunities.
Ooh, I'm kind of weird about
then,
that, but keep
and
going.
then now, America, it's not majority white.
No.
It's majority others. And I think that is led into people worrying about, wait a minute, the white race is going to become extinct here because more and more people are of other creeds are going to be here, are running the country, or, there's changes in place and the changes that are coming about. And I think that part of Making America Great Again, I think, leads to that racist side. What do you think, Tony?
Wait. What do you mean you agree?
He's distracted.
No, it's not distracted. It's just that.
Tony.
What?
No, you're on the TV, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, my bad.
You hella dumb.
I hate Brandon Pearson. Oh my Pearson. Oh my fucking Pearson.
Oh shit. Hey man. All right. So I want to wrap this up. It's 2:20. I gotta get home. What are we doing tomorrow? So what's going on?
Wow, he's wrapping it up. Did you hear that?
I know.
Wrap it up.
Hey, wrap it up.
Okay. No, we do honestly need to wrap it up. So guys, bottom line is, so what I want to get out is this. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about because of the fact that these are events that could happen in the next fucking month or two. Like, we could talk about war with Iran. We could talk about a trade war with China that can turn into an actual war with China. Things are happening with Bashar al-Assad in Syria. You have to understand is this. When it comes to the power structure, the corporatocracy, there's one power that runs everything. And it is the corporatocracy. There's 2 points of capitalism. You have regular capitalism, right, which is a small mom and pops that basically run businesses. But you also have corporations that run everything.
Yes.
Don't worry about this. It's this earthquake. So you have these corporations that run everything at this point right now, and these corporations run this shit, and they profit. I mean, whenever Ronald Reagan said his laws, and he unchained the corporatocracy. It's disgusting. But when we have this right now, you have to understand that there's a lot of events that are about to happen right now, and it's based on corporatocracy. It's based on profit. And if you are going to just be okay and accept the fact that they're doing this on your dime, that's okay. That's completely okay. Why? Because you're educated on it. I want you guys to do this. I actually want you to research the IRS. I want you to research fractional reserve banking. I want you to understand something right now, is that in the last month, the Dow has dropped 500 points in the last 3 weeks. This last week, it dropped 350 points. It keeps dropping for a reason, guys. Our money is not worth what you think it's worth. You need to actually invest in cryptocurrency or in gold, because if you don't understand the way money works today, it's fractional reserve banking, and they keep printing it into infinity. Why? They have to lower interest rates. Why? Because the Dow keeps dropping. Whatever's going to happen between Iran and China does affect you as a person. When you go to the gas pumps, when you go to the grocery store, it's going to affect you. So bottom line is, all we're asking you is do your research, because when it comes time to decide on a new system that we need to work on, step away from the tax system, step away from the IRS. That is one system that basically deludes us as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, as someone that actually wants to work to make this country better. It works against us because it pays people that are offshore. It pays people that have nothing to do with the U.S. And we need to wake up as a fucking people entirely and not fucking succumb to that bullshit. We really do.
Yeah.
We all as people need to help one another. We need to stop letting governments run our lives. We need to retain our freedom. And just
look at your paycheck stubs. How much does the federal income tax come out to? Fuck them. They just took your money and they didn't need to. It's illegal.
They keep, we got to worry about our retirement too.
Right.
You got, Social Security. They're talking about bankruptcy, recession, all these things. So we got to just be smart.
Yankee Doodle went to town riding on a pony. Remember that shit, guys? We went to fucking war because they put a 3% tax on fucking tea.
Mm-hmm. Now they're taxing our income at like what, 25%, 20%, 42%.
Come on, guys. When are we gonna fucking go to war?
Christ on a cracker.
Really? All right, guys.
Only America.
Tomorrow, guys, we're doing a podcast on a Anthony Joshua versus Andy Reese. It's gonna be a really good fight, a heavyweight fight. My dad's not reffing it, but he's doing 2 undercards before that one. So we're going to definitely be doing a podcast on that one. Hope everybody joins. That's going to be tomorrow at about 6:30 p.m. Anybody wants to join?
Did you say Rob and Al? What?
Who's all going to be there?
I never said that, but yes, Rob and Al is going to be there.
Yeah.
I guess Rob and Al is going to be there.
Why the hell would you say that, Sean?
You should tell Aaron to come through too.
Okay.
Yeah. Tell Aaron to come through.
I'll text him. I'm not
weighing in at 77 pounds. We have Aaron.
But he'll be here tomorrow, guys. That'll be awesome. We'll have Aaron Ayala.
Oh, yeah. How's he doing?
I met him through a few of the times I've kicked it here.
Yeah, Aaron is cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We were trying to hook him up with my stepdaughter. That never happened. That would have been a good one for him.
That would be nice, Sean. It would, but yeah.
Aaron's an interesting cat. I remember that. Remember that girl he hit over that one time with no shoes on? They were like flopping all over the fucking kitchen floor downstairs. And he never.
She had dirty feet.
Dirty feet. She lost her phone. She lost her phone. She lost her shoes in the Uber. And she was teasing him. She never actually got with him.
She's like, "Oh my god, touch my pussy."
Yeah, and then they got to the room and she's like, "Nah, I don't want to fuck." And he's like, had blue balls.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
He's
addicted.
Anyway, all right, fellas. This is Red Pill Station. Anthony Scroggins, this is Red Pill Station.
Right, guys,
I'm out.
Thank you so much for being on, guys. We're going to do a podcast tomorrow. Please be on, and we'll talk about the boxing match that's coming online. If you guys want to know about everything that's happening in the heavyweight division, I'm going to be having Jesus coming online and Rob Coates. It's going to be 2 guys. They're going to be basically battling it out and talking about the heavyweight division.
Coates,
and who is the better fighter, whether it's Tyson Fury or Deontay Wilder, guys. Whoever you think is the better fighter, please join in, guys. Other than that, thank you guys so much for taking the red pill. We will see you guys next time. Take care.
This is Red Pill Station. We're out.
Bye.